Hey everyone, Doug from ElspethLair.com. Hey, I absolutely love apothecary sets in my Halloween decorating. There's just nothing that sets the scenes more for me than to have a creepy old setting there by my witch. But I tell you, there's nothing that can ruin an apothecary setting quicker than throwing a new bottle in there with an old label. And there's nothing wrong with getting new bottles from like your big box craft stores and everything. But what we're going to do is take a minute and we're going to show you how to creep them up and make them look old so they'll fit perfectly in your Halloween decorating. Okay. So how we're actually going to make the bottle look old is simply by sanding. We're just going to use some coarse sandpaper. No finer than like 100 grit. If you've got like a 60 or an 80 hanging around, that's going to work great. All we're going to do is we're going to start sanding the bottle. But the first you need to know where to sand. We're not going to try and get into every nook and cranny here. What we're going to do is the bottle gets old by bumping into other things. So if you just look at the bottle, you can see there's a lot of areas that you're not going to have to worry about. Mainly it's going to be like the top, the middle, and the bottom. If it's like a round bottle, it's just going to be in the middle. And so anyway, you're going to start sanding. Remembering, never go the same direction. Always go circular motions back and forth, up and down. And also remember that the coarser the sandpaper, the faster it's going to go. One of the things that I've learned is that when you start it, it's just going to slide over the smooth glass. It's going to feel like you didn't get anywhere. Just keep at it, and all of a sudden you can feel it start digging into the glass, and then just work around the bottle until you get all the way around, and then you're going to get something like this. Okay, now that looks great, and you can use that. Sometimes I just like the bottles look a little bit dirtier. So like this one here, you can see it's just a little bit browner, and it's just got this little bit older finish to it. All I did with this one is I took some wood stain, wiped it over it. The stain kind of got stuck in some of the scratches, wiped it off. You can use pretty much anything. You can use a dark brown acrylic paint, magic marker, anything you can wipe on and wipe off again, just so that it just kind of hangs in the cracks there and get that old finish. Okay, now that you've got your bottle aged, you're going to have a lid on that. It's either probably going to be cork or metal. If you've got a cork lid, you got to age that. It's just as important as aging the glass. So all you're going to do is just take some water and thin down acrylic paint. I like black, and just take that and brush the cork. And as you do that, then go back in and wipe it off, and that ages your cork. And so you have a nice aged cork on that. Now, if you've got a metal lid, it's most likely going to have a finish on the outside of the metal. They put a finish on these so they don't rust. And so you're going to want to take some fine steel wool and just buff the outside of that lid, get that finish off. And then just soak these for a couple days in like a cup of vinegar. It's white vinegar with a tablespoon of salt. And after a couple days, that's what you have. And so you end up with a nice aged lid to go with a nice aged bottle. And there you have some old lids with your old bottles. Now when it comes to colored bottles, they look great in your apothecary, and so use them, but you have to remember that if it's a new bottle, it's probably not colored glass anymore. On the newer bottles, all they do is just paint them with a colored glass dye. And so if you can sand it, all you're going to do is sand the color off. So we have to come up with an alternative. Now this is an easy alternative, and I don't like using it on most bottles because it's not as permanent. But I like to take a little wood glue. White glue kind of comes off a little bit too quickly. And so just take a little bit of wood glue, put it on your hand. This drives my wife crazy because she hates getting stuff on her hands like that. Take the bottle and just wipe over it. And voila, you've got an aged bottle. Okay, and so that works great. My hands will wash, and now you've got some nice aged bottles. All right, as far as labels are concerned, you can find labels all over the place on the internet and print those out, but make sure that you come over to elsbethlair.com. We have exclusive free printable labels there that'll fit your bottles great. And also stay tuned. We're going to have some more tutorials on ideas for filling your bottles to match your labels, and also how to do custom labels. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe, and also come over and visit us at elsbethlair.com for many more ideas on all of your party ideas, your recipes, ghost stories, decorating, and prop ideas, tutorials. And don't forget to visit our store, where we have a lot of hand custom made things for your Halloween decorating.